How is it November already? How have we reached this point? I feel like every year this happens where we're like, great, I'm taking charge of this year, and then it's freaking November. So here we are. My name is Mimí Folco from Harvey Alchemy. Welcome to my channel. We're gonna do a month ahead tarot reading. And before we get into that, I just wanna do a little plug and let you know that if you wanna know more about the astrology of every day or, get some little tarot readings, I do all of that stuff on my Instagram and I do that in my stories. So go check me out at mimis.me, or for my products, so crystal candles, herbal teas, my sun and moon planners, that's all at harveymountain.alchemy. Let's get into this month. I'm very interested to see what is coming for us. November is going to be a 7-month in a 5-year. So if you don't know about numerology, the year 2021 is a universal 5-year, which means that there's a lot of changes happening this year. There might be some risk taking, some gambling, some exploration, some travel. And November specifically is a 7-month in that 5 element, that energy. So what the number 7 brings is an honesty to the self. And honestly, it's your spirituality. It's your connection to the divine. It's your ability to reflect on your beliefs and how you view yourself in something as big as this world or this universe. So it's bigger picture concepts. So already we have that numerological energy surrounding November of 2021. If you want to know more about your numerology, I also talk about that on my Instagram, but I just did a numerology workshop on October 30th and I am going to plan another one. So just let me know in the comments below if you're interested. I'm also working with a totally new deck. It is the Curious Creatures deck by Chris Ann. She's incredible. She makes the Muse Tarot and the Lightseers Tarot, and she just came out with this amazing deck. It's the Curious Creatures, so I'm really excited to use it. All right, so let's get to the reading. I've got your piles down on the table. Let's go. All right, so pile number 1, you've got this Honoring Your Energy healing card. Pile number 2, you've got 18, It's All Good. And pile number 3, you've got 38, which is Growth. All right, so pile number 1, we've got your number 15, Honoring Your Energy. And number 15 in numerology reduces down to a 6. And the 6 is a number of your home, of your family, of your domestic life. And also, I believe, a number surrounding the energy of perfection and like the concept of perfection, the power that we give to the idea that we must be perfect in every way. So that's why to me the number 6 has Cancer and Virgo energy, because it is about the domestic, family, home life and feeling safe, but it's also about that perfection, which to me screams Virgo. So let's get started on what's happening for you in November. I'm going to start off with like the main themes that you need to know, like what sort of work you'll be doing, what kind of energy you'll be dealing with. Ooh, so we started off with the Hierophant and the Emperor. Okay, the Emperor definitely jumped right out. The Hierophant was telling me that it wanted to come out. So we've got this Hierophant, which is a llama. I love this. And the Hierophant is normally about what's conventional, what's traditional, what do we know are the rules of our education and of society. But this one here is more about expanding your mind. It's about learning more so that you have the opportunities that you are wishing for. I'm kind of getting the sense that you are making wishes and manifesting, right? This Emperor here demanding what you want. And this month is going to give you a lot more context and a lot more information surrounding how to get what you want. The Hierophant is saying that you need to expand your mind a little bit this month, learn some new things, and it makes sense because we're going to be having a shift into Sagittarian energy anyway. I also think like be open to what you even want. Maybe the goals and your wishes and manifestations seem like exactly what you want, but there's a need to open up your mind, and like that frame of mind that you're in might be closing you off to what you actually need, what your soul needs. And then the Emperor here, this walrus. Nobody's going to move that walrus. No one's going to tell the walrus what to do or tell the Emperor what to do. And there may be that need to assert yourself, or on the flip side of that, you may be a little too self-assertive. But either way, you've got this 5, which is like needing a change, needing to again, expand and be open and adapting to change. And then the Emperor, which is 4, is this like structure and having everything sorted out and tidy and clean and building upon those, like having building blocks to work on. So I do think that maybe November is going to be a good month for you to go with the flow a little bit more, be less demanding of what you want, and instead open your eyes to what you may need to do or what sort of opening you need to do in order to manifest the things that are actually good for you rather than the things that you think you need. So those are the themes, and I'm still feeling like there's one more card for a theme. So I'm going to pick from the Modern Witch. One more theme. There it is. The 10 of Swords. Okay. Yeah, I love this 10 of Swords. She's looking at her phone. She's been stabbed 10 times. I definitely think November might be a good time for you to like slow down your screen time, get off your phone a little bit, get off social media a little bit, especially with the Emperor, which is ruled by Aries, which is all about I am, my identity, how I'm seen. Aries can tend to have this like ego about them. And I know for myself, because I'm an Aries, sometimes I have to separate what's ego, what's respecting and honoring myself, which is literally honoring your energy right there, and what instead is just like being egotistical and self-centered. So maybe slowing down on the social media might be a good idea, or just even screen time so that you can actually sit in your body and be present in the moment, be present in the world that's physically around you, because we can all get so wrapped up in the universe that's in our hands, right? So instead, to be able to slow down everything that you're consuming. Because what did I just hear recently that was like, humans now absorb more information in 24 hours than we used to in an entire lifetime in like the Renaissance era, which is insane to think about. And I don't know if there's any validity to it, but it feels like there's some validity to it, right? Like we have the whole world in our hands here, and it can be a little overwhelming. So instead, to put the phone down and sit in your actual reality, what's here in front of you, use your 5 senses to present moment focus. What can I hear, smell, taste, feel, see? So yeah, really getting that present moment focus so that you feel like you are really in the space that you're in, rather than living in this subliminal hypothetical world. So those are the themes for this month. The first 2, I think, were the most prevalent, but there's also that little flavor of that 10 of Wands saying, like, don't get too overwhelmed by all the information you're being given. Just adapt, just adjust, be open. You don't have to take it all in, but just notice it and reflect on some of it. So let's see what else will be coming up for you this month. Let's look at love. I want to look at our relationships this month. There it is. Our relationships, we've got the 9 of Pentacles and we've got Death. So I feel like maybe there's this pattern of like searching for someone, searching for relationships, searching for a loved one, searching for a romantic partner. And maybe some of that search has to be stopped. You have to stop searching for something as what's going to be perfect, right? Because we had that 15, which reduces down to 6, that idea of perfection, which I think also ties into the 10 of Swords, that your mental activity is actually, while it feels productive and it feels like you're active and you're busy, it's actually just slowing you down and slowing the progress that you could be making. So this constant search for something that's going to satisfy you outside of yourself, somebody else to validate your experiences or to validate your journey or to validate just you. I think this honoring your energy you chose because you have to be the one to validate that for yourself. So instead of seeking that validation or love elsewhere, try to give that to yourself. You're at this end of a journey, and I think there's still something that needs to die off, like in past relationships maybe, or in past friendships, or maybe you went through something pretty intense in October regarding your friends. So I think that still needs to like close, that chapter needs to close and maybe find some closure on it before you can go searching elsewhere for that same feeling that those people gave you. So in regards to relationships, stop looking externally for the people that are going to validate you. Instead, look within. There's this power that you have within yourself, this emperor, right? That we're trying to squash a little bit just because you don't want to be so obsessed with how you appear to others or like what you're doing. You don't want to be so self-critical in a way. But you do need to, again, honor your energy and honor your unique presence in this world. So that's what I see in relationships. Let's see. Let's look at work. We got the Six of Cups. Okay, we got the Six of Cups, the High Priestess, and another Ten of Swords, but this one says everything is fine. I love this deck. This is the Modern Witch Tarot deck, in case you guys were wondering. So I love this. Everything's fine in your work. Everything, maybe this is like how you're just sliding through work. It's like, yep, that's fine. That's fine. What's another sword? That's okay. I can deal. Let's just move on. I think there's something in your past that might be coming up regarding what your dream was in your work life or your career, what you really wanted to do as a kid. And there's something about wanting to fulfill that dream that you had in a little way. It doesn't have to be that you quit your job and invest everything in this new career path, but it feels like there's some little way that you can bring that joy and passion that you had as a child for something specific and bring that into your daily life in work. I think there's something that you know is a little off, that something needs to be adjusted. It's just a matter of really connecting with yourself and connecting with what you feel is off, what you feel just isn't giving you everything that you were looking for in your job. And this Ten of Swords, everything is fine. Is it though? I mean, check with yourself. Are you really happy with work this month in November? Is it really fulfilling you, or is it sort of just, it's fine, I'll deal with it, that's whatever? You know, are you whatevering and shrugging off this situation, or are you actually enjoying and feeling like you're thriving in your journey at work? I do think there's maybe some more family time needs to be, you know, acknowledged, and we are getting closer to holiday season, which is insane. But, you know, how much more time can you be spending with your family instead of work? Or on the flip side of that, are you not working enough and feeling a little bit trapped by your family? Like you're so needed. Maybe you're a mother and you're feeling so needed by your child or children or partner or family that you don't get any time for yourself to feel like you are fulfilling some goals that you have. So that's what I see in the way of work. I do think that your intuition can tell you what is off when it comes to work. It's just a matter of whether or not you're willing to listen to it or willing to see that maybe something's wrong. You know, maybe not everything is fine, but hey, maybe also everything is fine, you know? Okay, so we did love, we did career, we did general themes for this month. Let's see, what else is there in life? Let's look at joy. Where can we find joy this month? Let's go with Curious Creatures. I'm so excited about this deck. Okay, where can we find our joy this month? There it is. The Eight of Swords. So I think the only thing stopping you from living with joy this month might be your own mind, might be these anxieties. I still think, this is the Eight of Swords and this is the 10. I still think that coming off social media or coming off the internet might be a really good idea for you. This overstimulation of the mind is causing this like subconscious anxiety, or maybe it's very conscious anxiety. But I feel like I feel in my body right now, I feel this like buzzing, this constant shaking and buzzing and anxiety. So I feel like in order to really achieve the joy, right? I mean, she's got these like red accents, which is right at the root. It's primal, it's instinctual, it's about survival. In order to do that, we have to take off the garb we're wearing regarding, I'm just here to survive. I'm just here. I just got to make it through this week. I just got to make it through this month. I just got to get through this work deadline, you know, instead of trying to live past your deadlines and past what's making you anxious, See what you can do about right now. See how you can take these ropes off for yourself in a mental way. These anxieties, I feel like, are really binding you. And there's a way for you to cut those binds and really relinquish just find your freedom. So that's what you can do to find joy this month. I hope that was helpful. I really enjoyed this format, and I really love this deck. Like, I'm just super excited about this Curious Creatures deck. You can go check her out on Instagram. I think she's at Pixie Curio. She's amazing. So yes, let me know how this resonated with you. And I mean, I just love to hear from you guys. So I will see you next time, and make sure that you check out the astrology video coming out tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this. All right. Bye. Hello, pile 2. I have got your healing card here. It is number 18. It's all good. And so 18 in numerology reduces down to a 9. And 9, I tend to give it Pisces and Scorpio energy, because it's all about the connections within the universe. It's all about the understanding of a very large picture and bringing compassion and kindness to it. But it's also about shedding old skins and shedding tears and saying goodbye. So that's why I give it some of that Scorpio energy, because it is very transformational. And when we go through our 9-year cycles, which in numerology, it's a 9-year cycle, the 9 year is typically you having to say goodbye to things that were clinging to your old version of yourself. Because a 1 year is a beginning of a new cycle. You're becoming a new version of yourself. And so that 9 is tough, because it's like, I want to hold on to who I was and who I am comfortable with, but there's definitely growth that needs to happen. If you're interested in numerology, please let me know, because I'm just so obsessed with it. So I love talking about it. Okay, so you got It's All Good, which I think maybe is a reminder that you need for November. Just that like, it's all okay. Maybe it takes maybe you need a little bit of space to breathe and to relax. So let's see the themes for this month. I just want to see what our general theme is. Pick a few cards. Got the Queen of Swords. Oh, the Knight of Cups. Let's get one more guy out. Love the way these cards shuffle. And the Three of Swords. Wow. So I definitely do feel like there are matters of the heart and matters of like romantic relationships, but also matters of like general relationships and matters of the heart, feeling like maybe you've been betrayed, or maybe you feel like you've been a traitor, or there's some sort of guilt surrounding the situation. So this is the Queen of Swords, where she's truly reflecting on her mental journey and her space, giving herself space to think things through and talk things through. And she doesn't apologize for being herself, but she isn't as out there as, you know, the kings are, or even like the Queen of Wands is really out there. The Queen of Swords is a little more reserved. She likes to stay within. And so especially here, she knows she's special. She's a freaking owl, so wise. She's wearing this peacock plume, which I love. She's like, I'm going to adorn myself with this beautiful piece of garland. And so then we've got this Knight of Cups, which to me just sort of says there's something about putting your heart out there and really allowing yourself to be vulnerable in a way that's very active. So maybe November is a big month for you to express yourself, express what's going on in your heart's actual desires, what you want, what gives you love and hope and makes you feel kind and compassionate, right? Those numbers are coming up again. And then the Three of Swords, which, I mean, it's just a scary card in general. It's the heartbreak card, but it's also about learning where you need to protect your heart, learning where you need to protect yourself through ideas, through concepts, or maybe feeling like you're not protecting your thoughts. Like, again, it's that idea of being more reserved and hiding. I don't want to say hiding, because that sounds a little bit conniving and manipulative, but just keeping some of your thoughts to yourself, where you really want to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and put your emotions and I feel like there's a need to feel very kind towards other people, but I also think that there's some sort of betrayal or guilt energy that I'm feeling around here. And normally I don't focus on like the fortune telling of, oh, somebody's going to betray you, or, you know, you're going to feel really guilty. But here I'm really feeling like there's going to be some sort of dispute or conflict with a friend or a loved one. So allowing yourself to sit within before you go putting your whole self out there, to let yourself like mull over the words and thoughts that you have. And maybe that's because the thoughts you're having are out of anger and out of some spite or hate or resentment. And so you need to wait a little bit while, and actually a little bit. And actually maybe this is about putting your heart outside of yourself so that you can really reflect on how you truly feel, rather than on the pain that you're feeling and the words that you have an inkling to say. So that's kind of the themes for this month, about how much do you want to put yourself out there to others, and how willing are you to examine your feelings and your emotions and your heart's desire for yourself, and also about reserving what you have to say and, allowing your thoughts to stay inside of yourself for a little bit to really assess how you're feeling. Okay, so let's look at the theme of, let's look at work. Let's see how work is going to be in November. This guy came out. The 10 of Wands. I feel like something is finally completing that you've put a lot of work into. You're finally like reaping, there's some sort of goal that you're going to reach, and it's going to feel really relieving in a way, and almost that you're going to be able to have that pride in yourself that you had done the work and you didn't give up. Yeah, being persevering and resilient. And we've got Temperance. So at work, try and balance your work life. I think maybe there's some stuff going on in your personal life that you need to give some attention to. And if you're too focused on work or too focused on these like career goals and successes that you're aiming for, you may not be able to handle your personal things as well as maybe you would like to. I do think that throughout all of this, it's very important for you to do some sort of mindfulness exercise where you take some deep breaths and you really sit within your body and you remind yourself that it is all good. Everything that you're going through right now, it may feel difficult. There may be some pain involved, but just know that it's all good change. And so, like I said, a 9 year is a very tough and painful year. But what you get out of it, once you finally rid yourself of all of the old, like crusty skin, right? Like a lizard or a snake, you're getting rid of that old layer of skin that doesn't fit you anymore. You become this new version of yourself in your 1 year, and you get to actually start new projects, just do new ventures. And it's a lot more exciting to be that new version of yourself. So know that whatever kind of difficult time you're going through right now, it's just creating and molding this newer version of you that's going to be very, very strong, very resilient. That's what I'm really hearing, is resilient, persevering. So that's work. Let's see. I want to look at love. Yeah, let's look at love. Love can be with a romantic partner. It can be with friendships, be in your family. So, wow, we've got the 9 of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Swords. So I feel like there are some friendships that are really serving you and that you are serving them, and it's this very beautiful reciprocal energy exchange that you're doing with each other because there's this support. And I don't think that there are too many of those, but I think that the ones that you do have are really there for you. And those are the ones that you can be comfortable sharing this part of yourself. If you really feel like you need to have someone else respond or give you some sort of feedback on your experiences, those are the people that you know you can trust, and the ones that are attached to you on a soul level. Like you guys really understand each other and relate to each other through your soul's needs. I think that there's some kind of in the works, and we're still testing out these friendships or these partnerships or these lovers. We're still kind of figuring out if it's right, if we want to keep them around. And then I think there are definitely some friendships and partnerships that are just draining you. This is the 8 of Swords. And it's really just your attachment to the friendship that you once had that maybe was a little bit more positive and happy and exciting, that is keeping you guys in each other's lives. But I think there may be a need to let go of some of your friendships because they are just draining you. And I think like it's racking your brain and it gives you some anxiety, or maybe when you're with this person, you can't stop thinking and your mind is racing, and Maybe you're a little insecure around them. So those people in your life, you need to maybe step away from a little bit, or just not give so much of your energy away. That's that reserving your energy, protecting yourself that we talked about earlier. Okay, so let's pick one more card about how to maintain your joy in November, where joy will come from. There it is. The Four of Pentacles. Wow, yeah. So I really do think that conserving your energy is going to be kind of important for you. Not to be greedy with it, and not to say that you can't spend time with anybody else and you have to only take care of yourself. But there is that, I think it will give you joy to just regroup within yourself. It is a group of one, and it is you and any other of your friends that you feel are really, are very powerfully exchanging love with you. So just regroup and go back to what your core values are, what you truly look for in your friendships, what you truly look for in your loved ones, what you truly look for in yourself too. What gives you a sense of security and joy, right? Because this is the card of what's bringing us joy, how to find joy in November. I think finances are going to be fairly good this month. I think you'll be protected in that way, because protection just keeps coming up. So yeah, try and just regroup. And like I said, do some of that mindful breathing of letting yourself remember that it is all good, that you will be okay. All right. So, that was your reading for November. I hope that was helpful. And I really want to know what personal year you are going through. So all you have to do is add your birth month, your birthday, and then this year, 2021, and then reduce that all down to one number. So if you're going through a 9-year, I definitely want to hear from you. But comment down below what personal year you're going through. It's fascinating to me. So, all right, I will see you next time. Hello, pile 3. We have got your 38 growth healing card. And so 38 in numerology reduces down to an 11. And an 11 is a master number, which you can reduce to 2. But should you choose this responsibility, that's really what it is, with a master number, you can actually ascend to this energy of 11, which is about teaching and being a master teacher, being very much in your spiritual realm, being connected to your spirituality. And it's also about finding independence in your relationships, where if you're more attuned to the number 2, you're more likely you'll be very much tied into your emotions, being very intuitive still. But there's this tendency to really put all of your weight into your relationships and focus on everybody else and take care of everybody else. Whereas being an 11 is much more about having an individual experience and having an individual journey that you have and finding yourself alone. And so there's sort of some isolation that comes with 11, but it's a 1 and a 1 that are put together. So you get to have these wonderful relationships with other people. And then when you come together, it's this 2 energy of sharing your love, sharing your kindness, really giving yourselves to each other in a way, but still maintaining your independence. So let's get into what the themes of this month are for you. Here we go. One more. There we go. Okay, so we've come to, the first one that came out is this 5 of Wands. So right off the bat in November, there's going to be some form of dealing with a lot of different people, like sharing experiences with a lot of different unique people. Some of it could be conflict, or some of it could be collaboration. They're like playing this tug of war here. So it's red v blue. That's really interesting. Sort of the root versus the throat. Are you really speaking your truth? Are you really speaking how you, at your root, at your core, really feel? So it's almost that growth here. So you're having growth in the way that you have to focus on speaking from your gut, from speaking from your root chakra, which is all the way at the base of the spine. This is our bottom self. It rules our sexual organs. It rules our legs. So everything that is our base, that is strong and holds us up, really speaking from that space that you truly believe in, I think is going to be important. And then we have the Hermit here. So again, being really strong and sticking to yourself. The Hermit guides herself through, you know, on her path. And so this light that she has in her lantern is from within. It's from her. And so she is guiding herself. And in this deck, which I love, is a rhino. So having that really thick skin and knowing that you're protected, right, with those horns. Is it a rhino or is it some sort of dinosaur? It might actually be some sort of dinosaur. I'm not sure. You let me know. But still, there's that element of you guiding yourself and being really true to yourself this month. And then we got the Star, which this one's stunning. So again, she's holding this star, this light within her. And there's this hope that comes that if you are completely true to yourself, you are attracting genuine relationships, genuine friendships, really authentically being yourself attracts other authentic people. And it's kind of a simpler way to live, just being as authentic and genuinely you as possible. So that's really beautiful that this month might bring some sort of conflict or collaboration, or, you know, you're just dealing with a lot of different people. There's sort of a change in the energy. There's a shift in how much action is being taken. So to be sure that, so that you can keep up with it all and so that it feels a little bit simpler in your mind and in your body, that you just go throughout life with a primal understanding of what you believe in and you speak through that understanding. All right. Let's look at our relationships this month. And again, you picked growth. So there's definitely some growth that's going on in every element. We've got the Four of Cups with our relationships. Oh, wow. We have to remain grateful. Remain grateful for the people in your life that are bringing you love and joy. I feel like maybe there's an element of having become complacent in what, in your friendships or in your partnership, or maybe taking something for granted, or maybe you feel like you're being taken advantage of or being taken for granted. So to be able to instead open your eyes and see your relationships and friendships with a new set of eyes, in a new light, being able to remember what is so beautiful and like all encompassing about these relationships, what brings you joy, what brings you that warmth in your heart that this Star has and that the Hermit has. So really fighting for what brings you truth, what brings you joy and warmth. So that's in our relationships, but I'm going to pick another card because I feel like there's another one out there. Yeah, really not taking for granted your friendships and your loved ones. There we go. The Eight of Wands. I feel like maybe there's some travel involved with some of your friends. Very Age of Aquarius too. I mean, if you have like a lot of virtual friends or friends online, maybe it's a good time to go travel to see them, or maybe people will be putting in the effort to come see you. You know, it's really about assessing who is willing to put in the effort and who am I willing to put in the effort for? Who am I willing to, you know, follow these 8 wands and travel across country to go see or to spend a week with? And so to reignite that, I think it's really important because there's sort of this boredom feeling, like maybe we're just feeling complacent and like it's just every day feels the same. We're just stuck in this like ritualistic day-to-day life. So maybe it's time to do something fun and fresh and, you know, go traveling if you have a partner, or if you're single, just go travel, go see some new things, go meet some new people. We've got this Sagittarius energy coming in, right? And we have Venus in Sag. And so our love, our relationships are going to be thriving when we're doing something new, when we're expanding our mind, when we're traveling, when we're communicating, when we're seeing the bigger picture. So, and when we're communicating with the divine. So yeah, in our relationships, I think this month is going to be really important. What's going to be really important is focusing on what you're grateful for instead of just getting bored and forgetting the amazing relationships that you do have in your life. Let's look at some work, see if there's some work stuff coming up. Okay, 5 of Swords. So in this, it's so interesting. This 5 of Swords is like, there's a victory that's going on. And as soon as I said, let's talk about work, they were like, no, talk about spirituality, talk about their relationship to the divine, especially because that came up with the Venus in Sag. So I'm going to touch on that too. But this Five of Swords, I'm so curious about, because I think there's a need to shift your perspective about your job. Maybe seeing it just as a job. Instead of seeing it as like the goal and the end all be all, and like I have to succeed at this to be a successful human being. To attain all my goals, I need to really put myself into my work. I think there's kind of a shift of frame of mind that you need to do, because even when you win, there's just more to do. So that's all I'm going to get into about work, because I just didn't feel like it was very strong. So spirituality, your relationship to spirituality. We've got the Two of Wands. Wow, look at her. Okay, so I feel like there's somebody out there watching this that needs to like explore your relationship to your crystals. If you have a lot of crystals, to really explore your relationship to them. I also think that maybe some form of divination or like fire gazing or tarot cards, or, you know, doing some sort of practice for yourself so that you feel like every day you're connected to something bigger than yourself. Yeah, so I think finding your own magic is going to be really important. That's really awesome. Let's see what else. The Six of Swords. Yeah. So I do think that being able to find this magic in your everyday life, rather than having that boredom, it'll draw you out of the dark. That maybe you've been, and especially with Mercury retrograde and all of the planets being retrograde, and then in October they all went direct. I feel like we all were taken from this like crazy whirlwind and being thrust back into like forward movement life. And it feels a lot lighter. It's less heavy, but I think maybe some of you are still feeling attached to that weightiness, that heaviness, that darkness that was pulling us. And so to be able to find your magic and to be comfortable with your magic and expressing your relationship with your crystals or your tarot decks or your plants, or, you know, whatever your form of magic is, I think it's going to pull you out of the dark and bring you some sense of harmony and balance, because it's a number 6, the Six of Swords, and it's swords. So that's mental. So maybe like having this will help your mental health. And so 6 does represent our home, family life, but it also represents like finding peace, finding balance and harmony. So being able to pull yourself out of that darker place through your magic, I think is going to be really important in November. All right, I hope that was helpful for you. I'm really interested to see, because you were the only pile that they were like, we need to pull for spirituality. So I'm really curious to see how that plays out for you. Let me know what your form of magic is, what your witchy practices are. I love meeting other witches. So let me know. And I will see you next time. All right, bye guys.